So y'all check out this video. I'm gonna go grab a tissue real quick, and y'all tell me what y'all think.
People aren't getting married at an age where they actually are able to grow up with one another, because your wife shapes you and you shape her, and that makes you both better people. You know, when I married my wife, I just turned 24 and she was 20, and we've spent our lives growing up together, right? I mean, now I'm 38 and she's, 35, and that's a long time to spend. I mean, half her life, basically we've spent together, and that means that you grow and you change and you have experiences, and then you bring kids into the world, and that radically changes you even more than just the marriage did. And when Jordan says that if you're 40 and single, you're blowing it, he is cutting directly against the grain of all current conventional wisdom, which is the best thing that you can do is delay marriage until you make associate at the law firm working 2,200 hours. My dad used to make a point about this. He used to say, people would ask him about when to get married, and he said, well, or how to find the right person. And what he always said is, you have to make the decision to get married before you find the right person.
Yo, Ant funny, bro. He talking about old boy Ben Shapiro. All right, so did y'all hear what he just said? This was something that was big for me. Listen.
My dad used to make a point about this. He used to say, people would ask him about when to get married, and he said, well, or how to find the right person. And what he always said is, you have to make the decision to get married before you find the right person.
Ooh, you have to make the decision to get married before you find that right person. You have to make the decision to get married before you find the right person. Do y'all agree with that? Do y'all agree with that? Because a lot of times what ends up happening, we always waiting to, when you gonna get married? When I find the right person, when the time's right, all these different things. We're putting it out there as if we don't have to be ready beforehand. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll just wait. Oh, I'll get ready. Once I find the right person, I'll naturally just get ready. Nah, like in our mind, we got to be looking for something. Like, it's hard to find something that we're not looking for. You feel me? If we don't know what to look for, then how are we going to find something? So Ant wrote, after he wrote, oh boy, Ben Shapiro, he wrote, I don't typically agree with Ben Shapiro ever. But I agree with him here. And that's the thing, that's dope that you are able to do that. Because Ben Shapiro, I definitely don't agree with him all the time. But I don't agree with everybody all the time. But I like to, there's certain things that we have to acknowledge. And I know a lot of us, whenever I sit here and say, like, oh, well, this community does it this way, this community a lot. Well, that's that community. Yeah, but let's just see if we can take any game from people, right?
Look at the sitcoms from the 90s versus the sitcoms from the 60s, right? In the 60s, it was, you fall in love, you get married, you have sex. Now it's, you have sex, and then it's really hard for you to say if you fell in love with the person, right? That's like the big move in a sitcom now is, did you fall in love? And then you never get married. The fact that my wife can still look at me as the person who, was 23 and just out of law school, and she can say, I see through all this crap, right? Like, none of this makes a bit of difference to me. Right? The person who you are is not the person who the rest of the world sees. It's the person who I've known since long before you were that to the rest of the world.
Yo, what do y'all think about that? Do y'all think that we should be growing with people, that we should be getting married young and growing with people? So these are the things that I kind of question. Should we, let's say we graduate high school, should we be looking at getting married, or should we go to college and look for, somebody to marry while we're in college or right after college? Or in those early 20s, even if we're not at college? Should our ladies that are in their, early 20s be looking for somebody older? Let's say a guy in their 30s, mid 30s, because that's who's going to be in a position developed as a leader. Should we? So these are just the questions. I'm not saying that I'm pushing towards one. But these are some of the questions that come up, because what they typically do in the Jewish culture, or what I've seen and what he's describing, is they get married at 20 and 24. So literally, those are your kids growing into your marriage. Do you guys think that we should grow into our marriage, or that we should already be, in a position to where we are the leader that we need to be, and we are the wife and husband in all our roles, that we are already where we need to be in order for the marriage to be successful? Or do you think that we should give ourselves grace, get married early, commit early, and then grow into that? What do y'all think?
That's an amazing thing. It also gives you the ability to have somebody who calls you on your bullshit, which is like an actual real thing. Once you get, to a certain level of power, people just are really, really afraid to call you on your bullshit. And having a group of people, whether it's friends or particularly your wife, who's able to do that is vital, because if you don't have that, you spin off the rails incredibly fast. My wife tends to think in terms of the effect on the family. Right? As a man, my main thing is like, what is my effect on the world? I mean, I literally do that for a living. What is my effect on the world? What's my effect on society? What's my effect on the people who listen to the show? And so I'll try to overcommit. Okay, I want to get all these things done, right? I mean, there's so much to do before you die, right? You got to get out there, you got to travel, you got to change people.
Yo, he's saying a lot. He's saying a lot, like in a lot of different ways. Even when he talked about like how men view it, we view it, like what's going to be my impact on the world. We prioritize that in a lot of ways, while women prioritize, no, what's going on at home. Like what's best for our family, our immediate family, not what's best for society, what's best for you, me, and the kids. So it's just a different way of looking at things. That's why we're so amazing together. We see the world differently. We have different things that we're naturally better than each other at. And that's the beauty in coming together and traveling this journey of life together, right? That's the goal. All right, so let's see. Ant wrote, it could be ideal, but then again, if that season is outgrown, be okay with letting go. I'll have grown the most in a relationship, but I would not marry young. I would not marry young. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I have grown in most of my relationships. I got you. And Lucille wrote, it happens. I know people who are married for 70 years. The woman was 14, the man 19, and they got married and are still married. That's to me the right marriage. They share 5 children. Lucille, I'm not opposed to that. I'm actually with that. I think that there's a lot of value in getting back to those old school principles, because let's be real, as we grow, as we get older, we like to say that we're becoming the person, so we can be that leader, so we can be that wife, whatever it may be. In all actuality, all we're doing is learning how to become more and more independent. And if we're learning how to become more and more independent, then we're not going to be learning how to become interdependent. You get what I'm saying? So if everything that we're learning as we're in our 20s and in our 40s growing is all based on us learning how we can survive on our own, how are we grooming ourselves to now work with somebody in every aspect of life? So that would be the question I'm asking. And nah, don't worry about it. But the thing is, my screen is so small when I have everything open, so therefore I have to squint. It's not you, it's me. Nah, definitely don't slow it down. Keep the typing going. We'll figure it out on the way. We don't need perfect grammar in this group chat. We just would rather get the information out there. So don't worry about that. But yeah, those are just some of my thoughts. So we'll keep going.
You got to do all this. And my wife will say, yes, but what about the kids? Like, do you want to be away for that night? Do you want to be able to put the kids in bed? And you do need that balance. And again, the differences between men and women are not only beautiful, they are vital. And pretending that those differences are of no consequence whatsoever, and that other alternative forms of family structure are therefore equivalent in any way at all, they're different. They're different.
We are different. We are different. And it's amazing that we're different. All right, so let me hide that for a sec. So we may watch one more video. Let me make sure that I'm catching up with everybody. Lucille wrote, my job is to break the curse and teach my sons the right way and not make the mistake I made. Yeah, I get it. We're, all of us are curse breakers. We're curse breakers. We're traditional upholders, however you want to call it. We are standard setters. That's just what we're here to do. We're all here to pass along lessons, skills, experiences to younger generations, and almost be an example of how they can learn from us to do better for themselves. So I'm definitely with you on that. I do want to show this next video because I feel like a lot of it a little early on. I feel like this adds a different aspect of it to when we talked about submission. I want to play this video because I want to get yeah she when I yes she. All right, here it goes.
There's just as much fear of submitting to someone as being a leader. A part of us being in survival mode is that you can't show weakness. That's every animal. When every animal is in survival mode, you have to hide your weaknesses. It's about getting through the next moment. And what we've been through as Black people in this country, we still very much in survival mode. Absolutely. It's harder for you to think long term. So now I got to leave my survival, not my love, not my happiness, not my survival, up to this individual, or I gotta lead another individual. And a lot of us haven't reached a place in our own relationship, like with self, to where we healed enough to realize, like, oh my God, like, that's good. I'm capable of this. This person does trust me. It's not about survival anymore. We passed that, like, we actually building something here. So I think we definitely, as Black people specifically, have to give ourselves grace. We have one of the most unhealthy relationships with leadership that you could point at.
And that just goes back to the conversation that we had as far as, not being taught, to lead. We're not taught to lead. In American culture overall, I feel like a lot of leadership is being discouraged. Society is pushing us more to, we're all the same. We're role-less. We don't have any specific roles that we're supposed to do, or that inherently we're supposed to just teach our daughters to be like this, teach our sons to be like this. There's no rites of passage for men. That's another thing that I feel like really affects our lack of leadership. The technology, a lot of the different aspects that we touched on today, all affected in different ways. But I do want to highlight the point that he mentioned, where it's like it can be scary too, and it should be scary when it comes to having a woman submit to us. I don't know if scary is the right word, but I understand why I would be nervous. Nerves, whatever you call butterflies, the same butterflies that you get before you getting ready to compete in any other area of life. Like, just know that you have those same butterflies, or I would assume that you're going to have them when it comes to, having a woman's trust, as far as for you to be her leader and her family's leader. There's going to be a lot of that comes with it. But what do we do with all scary stuff that gets us nervous? We just prepare as best we can. We just prepare as best we can. And the better that we're prepared, the better we are. Those nerves may still be there, but at least we'll gain the confidence as we go through real challenges and real situations, because we do have that preparation. So that way we're gaining confidence as we go through those situations. So my takeaway is, I wish that we could find a way to emphasize the importance of marriage and relationships, of family, of having a village, having a tribe. I think that we are naturally almost kind of cycling back to that. I think we've gotten so independent, so quick to move out of the house, so quick to move away from our family, that just family in general hasn't been prioritized. And I do think that we are getting back towards that, because we're realizing, like, yo, this is just, we're moving in this other direction very fast. And it's almost like we're rushing to crash. And we're not realizing that, hey, maybe we need to, turn around and move a little bit in the other direction. So I'm hoping that we can, make relationships cool again, make marriage cool again. Maybe we should make some shirts like that or something. But that's my takeaway. So yeah, so I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Y'all continue to, I guess, throughout the day, y'all tell me what y'all observing, and then maybe we can catch up on Wednesday a little bit more. But have these conversations, because the more that we're having them, the more we're gonna learn about, what's for us, but maybe more importantly, we're gonna learn about, who we are. So Ed Funny. Yo, Ed Funny. He wrote, my guy just magged marriage. Yeah, yo, we making marriage cool again, bro. We making marriages great again. That's what we doing, bro. That's what we doing. We making being wives, being husbands, being family oriented cool again. That's the goal. And Lucille wrote, to all men out there, let go of fear. It's not easy, but it's worth it. I think it is. I think it is. I think it is. So yeah, when you let go of the fear, right? That's just the knowing. That's when we know. So on that note, let's take 30 seconds. 30 seconds. And if y'all don't have anything to envision in y'all own lives, but I'm gonna take my 30 seconds to think about my bro Steve and Britt getting married. That's what I'm gonna take my 30 seconds to do. So I don't know. Everybody else, y'all take the 30 seconds to maybe think about your lives, think about, who you may need to become, different things that you can work on. But for me, I'm just going to take my 30 seconds to show some love, some prayer, send some good energy to Steve and Britt, because I think if the things that we celebrate, I think those are we're subconsciously or consciously telling ourselves that that's what we're looking for in ourselves as well. So I'm going to take 30 seconds to just celebrate this newly found love union, this family union of my dog SB and Britt, his beautiful bride, coming together and getting married. So that's what I'm going to take my 30 seconds to think on. But y'all do whatever y'all feel is best for y'all. So 30 seconds. All right. All right. Yo, appreciate y'all tapping in. Yo, we had a dope turnout, dope engagement today. So definitely appreciate y'all. Like I said, man, it always gets me amped. Like just to have people that jump on and we have this conversation together, it gets me excited. I'm in good spirits. As we always say, let's make this our best day thus far. Let's make this the best Monday ever. So therefore we can make this the best week ever. And let's just start appreciating certain things that we maybe didn't appreciate. Appreciate everything. Appreciate some of those people in our lives that maybe it wasn't all on them. Maybe we need to make some adjustments ourselves so we can appreciate making some changes in ourselves as well. But let's get back towards these relationships. Let's get back towards these relationships. Facts. And you already know 8,000 in the chat, baby. We had, just so y'all know, we had 8,000 people. It just went down to 7,000 people. But this is amazing, This is what we doing for them. We doing for the people. You feel me? We doing for the people. But y'all know what it is. We elevating on purpose, both with intention as well as on our overall purpose, what our goal in life is, what we're here for, the impact that we're looking to make, strength and honor. That's what we preach, onward and upward. And we're going to keep getting to this bag with a big integrity, of course. And let's just keep growing. Let's just keep growing. We got an amazing community here. I'm excited. So love y'all. And I'll tap in with y'all on Wednesday. And in the meantime, make sure y'all sending me more videos and we can engage in some convos to get ready for Wednesday. So on that note, I'll see y'all soon.